Here's the brutal truth about football training that nobody wants to tell you. 90% of players are completely wasting their time. You know that kid who trains for hours every day but never gets better? That's because he's doing what everyone else does, running around cones and shooting in an empty net. Meanwhile, the players who actually make it to the top, they're training completely differently. I've analyzed how real professionals train, and what I found will shock you. They don't just train harder, they train smarter. And the methods they use are the complete opposite of what most coaches teach. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact training system that separates weekend warriors from professional players. Here's what I discovered studying professional clubs. The average amateur player trains for 6 hours a week, but only improves for 2 hours. The rest is just going through the motions. Professional players? They train for 4 hours a week, but every single minute is focused on specific improvement. That's why they progress faster in 1 month than most players do in an entire year. The difference isn't talent. It's having a system that targets exactly what you need to improve in the right order with the right intensity. Professional training isn't random. It's built on 5 pillars that every elite player masters: technical foundation, physical preparation, tactical intelligence, mental strength, and game application. Most players jump straight to the fun stuff like tricks and shooting, but pros start with the boring stuff that actually matters. Each pillar depends on the others, and that's why their training looks so different from what you see at your local club. Pillar 1, technical foundation, the boring stuff that matters. Let's start with the foundation that everything else is built on, your technical skills. But here's where most players get it wrong. They think technical training means juggling the ball or doing fancy tricks. That's completely wrong. Technical foundation means being able to do simple things perfectly under pressure. Can you receive a pass with your first touch while a defender is closing you down? Can you make a 10-yard pass with both feet while running at full speed? Can you control a bouncing ball while looking over your shoulder? These aren't sexy skills, but they're what separate pros from amateurs. Here are the 4 technical fundamentals every player must master. First touch under pressure. This isn't about juggling. It's about controlling the ball perfectly when someone's trying to take it from you. Pros practice this by having teammates throw balls at them from different angles while under pressure from defenders. Second, passing accuracy at game speed. Anyone can pass accurately when standing still. Pros can thread a 30-yard pass while sprinting and being marked. They practice this by making passes while running at different speeds and angles. Third, ball striking technique. This covers shooting, crossing, and long passing. The secret isn't power, it's clean contact. Pros spend hours working on their technique with both feet from different body positions. Fourth, receiving with both feet. Most players have a strong foot and a weak foot. Pros have 2 strong feet. They practice receiving and controlling with both feet from every possible angle. Here's your training method, the 10-minute technical block. Every training session should start with 10 minutes of technical work at maximum intensity. Pick one of the 4 fundamentals and do it perfectly 100 times. No shortcuts, no half efforts. If you mess up, start the count over. This isn't about fitness. It's about programming your brain to do these movements automatically when you're tired and under pressure in games. Pillar 2, physical preparation, building the engine. Here's where most players get it completely wrong. They think football fitness means running 5 miles every day. That's like training for Formula One by driving a minivan. Football is a sport of explosions. You sprint for 5 seconds, then walk for 20. You jump for a header, then jog for 30 seconds. You need to train your body for this specific type of work. There are 3 types of football fitness you need to develop. First, explosive power. Your ability to sprint, jump, and change direction at maximum intensity. This is what separates good players from great players in crucial moments. Second, repeated sprint ability. Your ability to perform multiple sprints without losing speed. This is why some players look fresh in the 90th minute while others are walking. Third, game-specific endurance. Your ability to maintain technical skills when you're tired. It's not about running a marathon. It's about making the right pass in the 85th minute. Here's your training method, the football fitness pyramid. Base level, 3 times per week, 20 minutes of game-specific movements. Sprint 20 yards, jog back, repeat. Add ball work to make it football-specific. Power level, 2 times per week. 6 maximum sprints with full recovery between each one. This builds your top speed and explosiveness. Endurance level, once per week. 30 minutes of continuous movement with the ball. This builds your ability to maintain performance throughout the game. The key is progression. Start with shorter distances and build up. Your body needs time to adapt to the demands you're placing on it. Pillar 3, tactical intelligence, learning to think. This is where good players become great players. Tactical intelligence isn't about memorizing formations. It's about making smart decisions faster than your opponents. Watch any professional game, and you'll see players making decisions before they even get the ball. They know where they're going to pass before they receive it. They know where to move to create space before the ball is even played. This isn't instinct, it's trained intelligence. Here are the 4 tactical concepts every player must understand. First, space recognition. Where's the space on the pitch? How can you create more space? How can you eliminate space for opponents? This is the foundation of all tactical intelligence. Second, timing of movement. When to make your run, when to check to the ball, when to stay put. Most players move too early or too late. Pros know exactly when to move. Third, decision making under pressure. What's the best option when you have 2 seconds to decide? Pass, dribble, or shoot. Pros make these decisions automatically because they've practiced them thousands of times. Fourth, game situations. What to do when you're winning, losing, or drawing. How to manage the game tempo. When to take risks and when to play it safe. Here's your training method, the decision game. Set up small-sided games for versus 4 or 5 versus 5 with specific rules that force you to make decisions. For example, you can only pass with your weak foot, or you must make 5 passes before you can shoot, or you can only score after creating a 2 versus 1 situation. These games force you to think tactically while under pressure. The more scenarios you practice, the faster you'll recognize them in real games. Pillar 4, mental strength, the champion's mindset. Here's what separates players who make it from players who don't: mental strength. It's not about being tough, it's about being smart with your mind. Professionals don't just train their bodies and skills. They train their minds to handle pressure, overcome mistakes, and maintain focus for 90 minutes. There are 3 mental skills every player must develop. First, concentration control, your ability to stay focused on what matters. In football, this means focusing on the next play, not the last mistake or the scoreboard. Second, confidence management, your ability to play with confidence even after making mistakes. Every player makes mistakes, pros bounce back faster. Third, pressure performance, your ability to perform your best when it matters most. Penalties, last-minute situations, big games. This is where champions are made. Here's your training method. Mental representatives, just like physical training, mental training requires repetition. Before every training session, spend 5 minutes visualizing yourself performing perfectly under pressure. See yourself making the right decisions, executing skills perfectly, and staying calm in tough situations. During training, practice positive self-talk. When you make a mistake, immediately tell yourself what you're going to do better next time. This programs your brain to focus on solutions, not problems. Pillar 5, game application, putting it all together. This is where everything comes together. You can have perfect technique, amazing fitness, brilliant tactical understanding, and strong mental skills. But if you can't apply them in games, it's worthless. Game application is about transferring your training to real match situations. This is the hardest part of football development, and it's where most players fail. There are 3 levels of game application. First, training games. Small-sided games that simulate real match situations. These bridge the gap between drills and actual games. Second, scrimmages. Full-sided games with specific objectives. These teach you to apply your skills in realistic situations. Third, competitive matches. Real games where the result matters. This is where you find out if your training actually works. Here's your training method, the progressive game system. Start with 1 versus 1 games to work on individual skills under pressure. Progress to 2 versus 2 games to work on combination play. Move to 4 versus 4 games to work on tactical concepts. Finally, play 11 versus 11 games to put everything together. Each level should challenge you in different ways. The goal is to gradually increase the complexity until you can handle anything a real game throws at you. Now let's put it all together into a weekly training plan that actually works. This isn't a generic plan, it's the exact system used by professional clubs around the world. Monday is Technical Foundation Day. 10 minutes of first touch under pressure. 20 minutes of passing accuracy at game speed. 15 minutes of ball striking technique. 15 minutes of 1 versus 1 technical games. Tuesday is Physical Preparation Day. 10 minutes of dynamic warm-up. 20 minutes of explosive power training. 20 minutes of repeated sprint ability. 10 minutes of recovery and stretching. Wednesday is Tactical Intelligence Day. 15 minutes of space recognition exercises. 20 minutes of decision-making games. 15 minutes of game situation practice. 10 minutes of video analysis, watching your own games. Thursday is Active Recovery Day. 30 minutes of light ball work. 15 minutes of flexibility and mobility. 15 minutes of mental training through visualization. Friday is Game Application Day. 20 minutes of small-sided games. 20 minutes of finishing practice. 20 minutes of set-piece practice. Saturday is Match Day. Apply everything you've trained. Sunday is complete rest. Your body needs time to recover and adapt. Here's the secret that separates effective training from wasted time: intensity. Every minute of training should be at game intensity or higher. Most players train at 70% effort and wonder why they can't perform at 100% in games. It doesn't work that way. You need to train at 100% effort to perform at 100% in games. But here's the catch. You can't train at 100% intensity for hours. That's why professional training sessions are short but incredibly intense. They'd rather train for 60 minutes at maximum intensity than 3 hours at medium intensity. Here are the intensity rules. Technical work, 100% precision, 100% speed. Physical work, 100% effort, full recovery between reps. Tactical work, 100% mental focus, game speed execution. Mental work, 100% concentration, deliberate practice. If you can't maintain 100% intensity, stop training. Poor quality training is worse than no training because it teaches your body to accept mediocrity. You can't improve what you don't measure. Professional players track everything: passing accuracy, sprint times, successful tackles, goals scored, mistakes made. They know exactly where they stand and where they need to improve. Set up your own tracking system. Weekly technical tests. Test your first touch, passing accuracy, and ball striking every week. Set targets and track improvement. Monthly physical tests. Test your sprint speed, agility, and endurance monthly. Compare to previous months. Game performance analysis. After every game, analyze your performance honestly. What went well? What needs work? Training load monitoring. Track how much you train and how you feel. Are you improving or just getting tired? The goal isn't to collect data. It's to use data to make better training decisions. If this video just gave you the real training system that professionals use, smash that like button and subscribe for more game-changing content. Drop a football emoji in the comments if you're ready to start training like a pro, and tell me which pillar you want to master first. Your breakthrough performance is just one training session away.